Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. MC-Mura here, and in today's video we are checking out the season 5 changes for Abigail. And Abigail is a very interesting character for me this season because I think he could be the biggest victim of V-Shift. One thing you have to consider about Abigail is that most of his attacks actually have gaps in them. So I imagine that the run will be a lot more punishable with V-Shift. The smash thing he does, his unblockables, both with V triggers, like with both of his V triggers, you can V shift them. So, for example, something as simple as him doing that, like him doing the light smash, like this is one of the safest Abigail strings, right? But you kind of have to imagine that now this will actually be punishable thanks to V shift, right? And when you think about it, he has the Abigail Punch, which is already unsafe. All of the heavy smashes are unsafe now. The run will get punished. The V triggers might get punished. So he have a lot to lose because of V shift. So let's check out what they actually changed with Abigail. The first thing is his standing heavy punch. I mean, they did a couple of changes to the entire roster pretty much. So what they did is that this now is easier to whiff punish, the crouching heavy punch is easier to whiff punish, and the back heavy punch is easier to whiff punish. And I think these are kind of fine, to be honest. Most of the characters in the game got that. It's a universal change. They want heavy attacks to be whiff punishable, so I'm guessing this is a pretty fair and good change. The other change is to his crouching light punch, and now it's gonna be easier to beat it on startup. So the hurt box now appears before the hitbox. Of course, his crouching jab have a ton of range, and it is very fast for a poke. So now if your opponent is doing their attack first, the crouching light punch will lose. But it should still be a fantastic attack, all honesty. It's still amazing. They also kinda nerfed the same for the target combo attached to it when you're doing it twice. This now have one more frame of whiff recovery and less active frames, and also it is easier to get stuffed. Then they changed his crouching heavy kick. Obviously Abigail, he had his sweep, which was this roll, and he has his down back heavy kick, which was like this low attack. And what they did is that now this is doing a 10 more damage. So if your opponent here got hit, this is doing 10 more damage. And obviously they increase the distance, so it also have a little bit more range. This attack wasn't that useful, so I get why they actually buffed it a little bit. It wasn't used a lot. I would almost never see it in all honesty, because most Abigail players would just use the crouching medium kick and hit confirm it anyway, so I'm not really sure what use was of this sweep. The other change, and this is actually a really important one, is to his EX Abigail Smash. EX Abigail Smash is the air throw or the command grab, the EX command grab. There is a system-wide change in Street Fighter V now, and it is that generally when you do a combo, the first hit is at 100% scaling and the second hit goes to 90. Then you go to 80 and then whatever. It keeps going gradually by 10 with every single hit. The change that Capcom made is that when you start a combo with this throw, it does 2 points of scaling. So if I'm doing my forward heavy punch, notice that the forward heavy punch did 80. So to combat this and to not reduce Abigail's overall damage by a lot, they actually just increase the damage output of the command grab itself. So now he's still getting some decent damage output out of it, right? So now he will still get some decent damage overall. So this is kind of a buff. They did the same thing for G, but I think G is gonna be negatively affected more by this change than Abigail. But these are the two characters who will probably get hit the hardest by this. The other changes are to his V trigger 1. So previously Abigail could do the EX run into punch, activate V trigger 2, or of course EX Abigail punch and activate V trigger 2, right? Now he wasn't able to do that with V trigger 1, and now he could. which I think is a fair change, right? Now this is a fair change. Both of them are 3 bars V-trigger, so you're pretty much getting to open them or activate from these same moves, right? So that I feel is a good and fair change. The final change to Abigail is to his meteor charge or meteor crash. That is his charged attack in V-trigger 2. This is a new camera effect when it is blocked, right? It's not really more than just a new camera effect. Overall, Abigail got small nerfs here and there, but the biggest issue with Abigail, like I said earlier, is gonna be the V-shift. How will it affect his entire gameplay? Because he again is one of the characters who are potentially getting to be affected the most. Especially when you consider that you can V-shift this, you can V-shift his charged heavy punches, like when he's doing that get to get V-shifted now. Almost every character might have a solution against his attacks. And that's pretty much it for Abigail. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment. It helps the channel so much. I will leave a link to the Patreon page and the Discord server in the description. Thank you very much for watching and stay safe.